Thanks to Corwin Motors for sponsoring the Keeping Score podcast. At Corwin Motors, they're proud to be family-driven for over 100 years. Their commitment goes beyond selling cars. They're dedicated to serving our community and providing you with the highest quality vehicles to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're searching for reliability, style, or comfort, they got you covered. They understand that you rely on their website for accurate and up-to-date information, and it's their promise to deliver relevant, detailed content that meets your needs. So if you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or just want to learn more, visit CorwinMotorsKalispell.com. Welcome, everybody, to the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I am your host, Josh Amick. This week, we have another crosstown matchup between Flathead and Glacier facing each other in tennis. Columbia Falls baseball clinched the North Conference, and the softball regular season wraps up with a few of the local Valley teams advancing to divisionals. So without further ado, let's get into last week's highlights that you might have missed. We're going to kick off this episode with tennis this week as a crosstown matchup ended in favor of Glacier as they won 7 of the 8 matches. Flathead got wins from number 1 singles player Holden Asfig for the boys' side and number 3 Ali Goff on the girls. Leilani Linares, Autumn Bashara, and Lindsay Lemler picked up wins in the girls' singles for the pack, as did all 4 double squads that competed. Glacier's Sam Engelent, Aiden Lamb, and Weston Heller all won boys' singles matches. Engelent was extended to 3 sets by Flathead's Rowan Alexander before winning the third set 6-1. The Wolfpack are now 8-2-1 in doubles. Flathead's boys dropped to 4-8-0. Glacier's girls improved to 8-1-2 in duels, and the Bravettes fell to 1-9-3. Rowan Alexander nabbed the pair of victories Friday, but Flathead tennis fell in duels to Gallatin and Bozeman at the FCC in high school tennis. Ali Goff claimed a win for the Bravettes with the third set tiebreak over Gallatin's Jane Edwards. Elsewhere in tennis, Ansley Grubb grabbed a pair of wins, one in singles and another in doubles, as Whitefish girls tennis capped off a perfect 15-0 record for the duels 2025 season. Grubb paired with Camry Kelch in the Bulldogs' 6-1 win over Corvallis. Then she went solo in a 5-2 dual decision over Hamilton. Congratulations to the Bulldogs on an outstanding regular season. Crosstown wasn't the only rival matchup last week, as the Columbia Falls Wildcats went on the road to Smith Fields and swept the regular season series against Whitefish with a 12-0 victory that officially secured the Wildcats the top seed in the North Conference. Jet Pitt set the tone on the mound for the Wildcats, pitching a complete game 2-hit shutout, with both of his hits going to Tate Ulmery on his way to the victory. He fanned 6 across 5 innings as the game was called early due to the run rule. Freshman Jackson Caldwell started the scoring for the Cats in the second inning when he singled home a run after Reed Boyer walked the bases loaded. Caldwell added an RBI double in a 6-run 5th inning that helped the Cats pull away late. Columbia Falls would beat Troy on Saturday 14-0 and Polson 9-4 on Monday to finish the season 15-1 and currently riding a 10-game winning streak. Hopefully they can keep up that winning streak once the state tournament starts soon. Whitefish dropped their following game on Saturday to Big Fork 9-2. Mason Lewis doubled home 2 runs during a 6-run frame for the Vikings and put Big Fork ahead 4-1. Lewis also went the distance on the mound for Big Fork, allowing 5 hits and 2 earned runs. He fanned a pair of batters as well. Finn Ryan and Luke Dalen picked up the RBIs for the Whitefish Bulldogs. Elsewhere in baseball, the Kalispell Lakers didn't have the greatest start to their game on Saturday, but put together a solid finish. Brady Buckmaster and Luke Nikkinen made sure of it. Nikkinen hit a solo home run in the first inning, Buckmaster hit an RBI double in the second, and the two combined on a 3-hit shutout in the Lakers' 2-0 victory over Helena in the second game of a Legion doubleheader. That salvaged a split for the Lakers at Griffin Field. They opened with a 13-0 loss to the Senators, helped along by 5 Kalispell errors. An 11-run second inning set the tone for Helena, which ended the game in 5 innings under the mercy rule. It was already 5-0 before the Lakers committed their second error of the second inning. 5 more hitters came to the plate, with Tanner Steen's 2-run single making it 11-0 and not much of a game afterwards. In Game 2, Buckmaster started and threw 5 innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 walks with 7 strikeouts. Nikkinen got the save, allowing 1 hit and 2 walks in the final 2 innings of work. The duo won a pitcher's duel with Helena's Eli Peterson, who struck out 9 in 5 2/3 innings. Each team collected just 3 hits, and the Lakers improved to 9-4 on the season. Moving on to softball, Flathead's season came to an end after not qualifying for state, but not before they picked up some wins to end their year on a high note. Olivia Nyman clubbed a grand slam, and Kinsey Lake hit a sacrifice fly to break a 5-5 tie, and the Flathead Bravettes knocked off Missoula Sentinel 7-5 Tuesday. Nyman's home run erased a 4-0 deficit in the third inning for the Bravettes. She added a leadoff single in the 7th and came around to score for the go-ahead run. Nyman wasn't done there on her way to winning this week's Poster Player of the Week. She hit another home run. Macy McAllergy scored on a pass ball in the 8th inning, and the Bravettes scored on a season-ending walk-off 5-4 softball win over Missoula Hellgate on Thursday. Lacey Franklin went the distance in the circle for Flathead, which improved to 3-11 in Western AA games and 4-16 overall. The Bravettes won their second straight game, but finished 7th in the league to close out their season. The Wolfpack clinched state in their lone softball matchup last week. Taylor Vivian's 3-run home run put Glacier ahead, and Ava Grady's relief pitching kept Missoula Sentinel at bay Thursday in the Wolfpack's 14-11 win. Glacier mounted their comeback on 2 doubles and 3 runs scored from Nakia Persinger and 2 runs each from Olivia Gibbons, Vivian, Aubrey Gerber, and Katie Walczek. They were up 11-10, and then Glacier got 3 more runs in the 6th with the Persinger's RBI double delivering the big blow and came in to score on Olivia Warner's sacrifice fly. The Wolfpack are at 16-3 overall and 11-3 in Western AA games, nailed down the number 2 seed out of the West into the state AA tournament, which is May 22nd through the 24th at Great Falls. Helena High clinched the top seed. The Columbia Falls Wildcats picked up a pair of wins at the Laverne Combo on Friday, beating Hoover 6-3 and Lockwood 9-4. Addie Bowler had 4 hits for the Wildcats, including a triple that drove in 3 runs in the 6th inning. Sydney Burke had 3 hits. Kylie Glisdale-Davis, Taylor Lingle, and Annika Reed all had 2 hits on their way to the Game 1 victory. Game 2 lasted just 4 innings because of the time limit, but that was enough time for Lingle to wrap out 3 hits and score 3 times. Annika Lawrence had a double, a triple, and 2 RBIs for the Cats, who had 12 hits total. Reed had 2 hits, including a double. Bella Mann had a double and also drove in 2. Last sport to highlight this week is track. Flathead's William Hollensteiner won 2 events Thursday, which along with some fine performances in the jumps, gave the Braves the team title at the Last Chance Quad Track and Field Meet. Flathead swept the meet, which provided many athletes a chance to meet the Montana High School Association state qualifying marks. Tim Zundel added a win in the long jump, teammate Henry Sturr cleared 12-0 to win the pole vault, and Carson Thorne won the 3200 as Flathead piled up 110 points to 77 for second-place Whitefish. The Bravettes also won their event with 96 points, with Whitefish finishing second again, 81.5. Leading Flathead were freshman Nova Miller in the pole vault, Claire Jensen in the 800, Bristol Lenz in the 100 hurdles, and Naomi Miller in the 300 hurdles. The host Bulldog boys had quite a day. Riley Zittoni, Colby Minton, and Simon Douglas led a sprint sweep, and Carson Golick won the 110 hurdles. Douglas notably hit a personal record in the 400, clocking in at 51.54 seconds. Whitefish's Rachel Wilmot ran to wins in the 100 and 200 meters, and Columbia Falls rode Lane Vorman's, Oliver Kress, and Depth to the boys' team title to highlight the Nelson Thomas ABC meet held on Saturday. The Bulldogs' Carson Golick lowered his best time in the 110 hurdles to 15.66, while Big Fork's Austin Savick clocked 39.80 through the 300 hurdles. The Vikings' Tamrit Savick hit his PR in the triple jump at 45.6. Easton Brooks of Columbia Falls was second at 42.11, another PR. Savick sits number 2 in the class, and Brooks is now in 5th. That is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. Join us next week as state tournaments begin heating up, with many teams in the Valley still alive with hopes of winning it all. Good luck to all those teams in the postseason, and we'll see you all next week on another episode of the Keeping Score podcast. Take care.
A fire that broke out on a cold and dark February morning in 2024 sent the small northwest Montana town of Knoxon reeling. Beginning in the Angry Beaver General Store on Knoxon Avenue, the conflagration would eventually claim a neighboring restaurant and a storied bar. The town had lost 3/4 of its business community by the day's end. 7 months after the fire, people were still wondering, will Knoxon recover? Can it mount a comeback? What will rise from the ashes?
Stream Season 3 of the Daily Interlakes Deep Dive podcast on your favorite audio platform, or catch the 2-part series on our YouTube channel.